Yeah, I wanna touch the subject. You mentioned Laurel. He's actually ranked 38 on the leaderboard, so we're talking about a pretty high MMR player. So we don't know much about him. Let's see how he performs in the team. And for Winstrike, I think they have been solidifying their team pretty well. Like, the synergies are looking pretty good. The experience from Soneka and the Huck, obviously, can't undermine the experience that these two players provide for the team. So I think it would be pretty easy for Laurel to also sit in. What he's going to play, though, we'll find out later on. If it's not the OD, then it's definitely going to be something else brought up later on. For Bait, when you look at the Kunkka, 3 possible options. Now one of them taken away as the Sand King pick is brought up, and looks like Snapfire is going to be the buddy for the lane. So SK, Snapfire, double stun, good magical damage, good nuke as well, minus armor added to the fold. So Winstrike's going to have to start thinking about their carry pick carefully here, because SK does remove some possibilities.
Only 10 seconds.
Yeah, but it does open some of those quite a lot because he tends to be weak in lane, and Great King, he does pretty well against him given that he has low armor. And look at the heroes of Bait, all of them have low armor. Though I like that Bait have an idea. When I look at this draft, the idea is we have to kill the OD immediately. The problem I see with it though is you're playing against the Clockwork, so the vision won't be on your side. You don't have the pushing power other than the little shredder. You have some tower defense, but the diving capabilities of Winstrike are pretty good. So I think it's going to be easy for Winstrike to read. They want to kill our OD, don't show the OD, and we are pretty much safe. The rating is one of the best frontliners, definitely, especially into a lineup like this that kind of gets out of gas after the Epicenter Mortimer's Kisses and the boat get used.
Yeah, I agree on that one. What have we actually seen in the last phase from both of these teams? Because I haven't really brought up my numbers, at least for the drafts that they bring up in the last segment. Let me see if I can see something here.
Pretty much both of these teams have played pretty basic Dota. Winstrike, they do tend to pick something like a Slark for the Hawk, we talked about him being one of those players that tends to break the meta, to set up new metas. You should watch his stream if you want to see what the next big thing is, the innovator, let's say. But Raid King, not really an innovative pick. So looking at the heroes right now, you pretty much don't see anything that is out of the ordinary. I think that's how it's gonna stay. We're probably gonna be seeing this Kunkka in the mid lane. OD, it kind of goes down to it. If Winstrike, they'll make a decision after it. They'll see the enemy carry, and then they'll make a decision: are we gonna play against the Kunkka in the mid, or are we gonna do something else? And I do like the bans coming out from Bait, given that the Timber Saw would pretty much crush their lineup.
Well, now that I cracked down the numbers, Bait has had more unique heroes in the last phase of the draft. And that's another one to the fold. So that would be their 9th unique hero in the last phase, whereas Winstrike has been picking pretty much the same heroes. They have been locking in their carry last, which has usually been Ursa or Monkey King out of 5 games. So 3 times Ursa, 2 times Monkey King. Though, with the picks already on the board, these are pretty much all carry picks, and then they have that one OD pick in their last phase. So we're also going to get something new from them in this last phase. What's it going to be, though? What do they want to go for? What about, is the Invoker still in the pool? I mean, he's a rank 38 mid player. You should know Invoker or Storm Spirit. Those are both still there. Puck is banned.
I think, okay, the Queen is out as well, so those mobile heroes against the Bat, they are gone. To be honest, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if Winstrike picks something weird like an LC in the mid lane, given that you see a Bat, you have pretty straightforward counters to this hero, LC being the main one, and you have a rank 38 mid player who doesn't have too much experience in competitive Dota. All of those players do have some experience of it. So
what about if we went Batrider versus OD and they're picking the offlaner? Because that's what Bait's also thinking when they ban the Void. They're like, let's get rid of one mid hero, but it also might be offlane, so Timber Saw is out of the table because we have 3 strength heroes. So it could still be an offlane pick as well, but they do look like they're targeting this mid. And there's the Storm.
Storm is one of those heroes.
One of the 2.
Until level 5. Yeah, until level 5, you are kind of safe. The Batrider can't dive you, and when you see that the Batrider is approaching level 6 and you might be too far away from it, you go into the jungle. So I think that the Storm is pretty much a solid pick here. He has a save in the OD, so even though Bait have some nice initiation, if the OD isn't caught, that is a problem. And now you have actually 2 heroes that you want to kill, and you know, the OD is still the priority. Plus, I wouldn't really put the OD against the Bat. It's not the easiest matchup for him, and of course the Kunkka and the Bane, they're not going to be doing much to notice overall. So I'm liking this one from Winstrike. It's a basic draft. They have solid lanes. Pretty much nowhere. There's not a lane they'll get crushed in. And it's going to come down to it. If Bait can make those early rotations and then early blink on the Sand King should help them. But killing the OD takes definite priority. And even if you do it in this game, you still have 2 heroes to deal with. So I don't think Bait has really come up with something which they'll be able to close this one out with.
Well, we'll have to see if the storylines stick true. Bait has yet to still win a single series here in the DPC, not to even talk about a single map victory, so it would really give a huge confidence boost for this team. They just signed a new sponsor and everything, so they would obviously want to show that we're truly guys that are made out of something. They've had their time to practice, they've had their time to shine. Their honeymoon season's pretty much coming to an end as well. And now playing up against a stand-in from Winstrike, this would be the game to win. But is it winnable? We'll see if the result is as it is. Laurel, the stand-in for Winstrike, going to be playing up with the Storm Spirit into the mid lane. So he's going to be going up against a very iconic, legendary Dendi. Obviously not the Dendi of old, who was way ahead of everybody's time at the start of Dota, basically. Dota 2, you can almost say. I don't know if Dendi actually played in Dota 1. I don't know about that, though.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much when you look at the people who played the first TI, they pretty much all came from Dota 1. So it's always gonna be like that. No one will get that good in 6 months. So either way, when we look at Bait, I think they need a pretty chaotic mid game here, and they tend to, if they make a mistake, to just pull back into farming. I think they can't allow this to happen in the particular game. I think they have to always go in, and not going for a instant blink on the Sand King, I think would also be a mistake. You need to fight like hell in this one, because if you slow down the game, the Meteor Hammer, it will push out the waves, push in the towers. The Jakiro is pretty good at pushing out the waves as well. And when it comes to the later portions of the game, the Raid King pretty much cuts down everyone on the side of Bait, who would like to be the ones initiating the fight, but against the Clockwork, not always the easiest thing to do. So I think a chaotic game is something that Bait needs, and I'm looking forward if they can make it happen, just because it is much more fun to watch chaotic games than the ones that are just farm trades, you know.
So talking about tanky builds, like if you're forced to fight a lot, would you go Vanguard on Sand King this game because of the Wraith King? Would you think that's the option to go for here?
I think you would go Vanguard only if you're having such a great time that you can get away of getting the blink still, like, at 11-12 minutes, like an Axe does, right? But I think for a Sand King, it is not an option. You would have to be diving your enemy so much, and diving into any lineup can be dangerous. Storm TPs, you die, and then it's all down the drain. So I still think the blink is gonna be the main item for the Sand King that he needs to get to kill the OD. OD is the main target. If the OD is alone, kill him. If the Storm is alone, kill him as well, and Dendi is gonna be the one doing the damage. So he needs a solid time in the lane as well, which for now Dendi isn't really having when we look at the CS.
Yep, he did force the Storm Spirit out for a couple seconds with 9 stacks of napalm, but Laurel, he went for the aggressive play and basically stayed on the creep wave for the first 30 seconds. So despite taking a lot of napalm stacks and taking a couple hits, he secures the first wave completely. He gets half of the second wave, and he's got half of the third wave too. So off to a pretty okay start here with the Storm. But as you said, then the only 3 last hits so far. So Bat, even if you're playing the aggression game, you still need to land those last hits and that CS. So you can't just fully focus on aggression. if you're not actually using the aggression. If you're just playing baits and playing mind games, like, well, you know, their team name is bait, so no pun intended here. Still, you need to capitalize.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, though, that's why Storm is pretty good against the Bat, because he has high armor, he likes to be inside of the creep wave, and that allows him to CS well. So you can take the hits from the Bat in the beginning, before level 3. Bat, if he uses the Firefly, that's a big mistake. So you know the limits of the enemy hero, and you utilize them to get the dearly lead. This lead, it isn't gonna be that big later on unless Lark completely outplays Dandy, because later on just 2 or 3 sticky napalms and you kind of have to move away. So that will allow Dandy to kind of equalize the lane, or at least stop the bleeding once he hits level 3, which he still isn't, and that's why Laurel is just having such a beautiful time here.
Pion is not getting much CS for himself either. Wraith King is at 6-2, Sand King at 2-2. Now this is the time for the Sand Kings to start picking up some CS. Neko, Laguna, trying to contest a little bit there. They do have the Ops ward, the Sentry ward placed down to block the camp, but it has spawned before. So Soneko's not going to be getting the D ward, but at the same time, Laguna's also getting to punish the Hux. So this is really important with your support synergy in this off lane. When do you brawl with the one-on-one against the opponent's support? And if you manage to make like a play like this, I know this is like such a small detail, but I like to see it. You've blocked the camp, you're forcing Soneko to go back, and he doesn't actually know that it's blocked right now, so he's forced out the pull. And as he goes for that move, Laguna instantly charges towards the Wraith King while Pion is farming. Free damage, free trading damage. That's like it's very big. Wraith King's got no regen anymore.
Yeah, that is a nice play from Bait, considering that usually you would like to trade with the enemy support if you know that your offlaner will be good 1 versus 1. Overall, the Sand King 1 versus 1, at least without the Caustic Finale, isn't going to be doing that well against the Wraith King. So you try to make some shenanigans, pull Soneko to the side, and then play together with the Sand King and the Snapfire. And that's why you pick the Snapfire, Sand King, and pretty much Snapfire with any melee hero that has a stun, because you can do just so much burst damage in a second. But Pion, this is very dangerous for the Sand King every single time he gets close.
Yeah, but as he was holding that distance, he got himself 8 more last hits in just quick succession. So Laguna is definitely making some very important moves here and there. They're like the small things that you barely ever notice, and sometimes when analysts also talk about like the movements in the lane, they're so easy to miss because they're small details. So you know, it's just nice to highlight those moments when the pos 4s and pos 5s are really making important, crucial things towards the lane equilibrium, and also getting to trade at the right time and at the right moments as well, because that enables your cores.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, if you would have that big of a CS difference between the cores, the carry, and the in the offlaner, just one small item would make a difference that the lane completely goes south. So those little trades between the supports, you always have to force out some regen. You always have to get the damage in when you can, because Dota, it works like this. Just the second Pion is in a ton of trouble. So Neko has enchanted mangoes, and will he be chasing forward?
Yeah, he's going to be chasing here for quite some time. I was looking at bottom where they are also fighting. We haven't really looked at this lane for too much. But Violent just a couple CS ahead of against Noticed. Still doing a pretty good job. Violent obviously has some big boots to fill since Watson left the team. Watson absolutely rocked himself the last 2-3 months even. You could say last 2 months, because in D2CL, the games that we've been seeing there and the performance that Watson has been providing had been just absolutely huge. He was, in my books, potentially one of the best farmers. We were talking about Watson's kind of like the EU, I wouldn't say correspondent, but kind of like an EU, okay, I don't remember the word for it, but he's just like K1 Hector from SA. You know, great farmer, great at hitting creeps, and really provides through farm.
Yeah, I watched Bait a bit, but I didn't pay that much attention to Watson, so I'm gonna have to trust you on that one. That Violent really has like big boots to fill, and I don't know, Bait, they might be losing, but they're not all bad. What I don't like in this game is that the chaos that we were talking about, none of it has happened. So for now, the game is slow. Yes, they do need some more levels on the Batrider and on the Sand King to make things happen, but at least force out more regen, try to force out some TPs. A death on the on your side means there might be a death on the enemy side, and again there will be a pause. Winstrike, they're having some lag issues, it seems like, all of them.
Does, yeah. But back to the topic of Watson and Violent. Well, Hellraisers is sitting in first place of upper division, so tying up with current TI champions Team Spirit, and you're being the carry of the team, you're doing something right. So I think that in itself is enough of an indicator not to challenge Watson's skill. So he definitely rocked off this DPC start very nicely. But for Violent, well, still looking for that first victory. I think it was it Hydra in our winner interview who said, like, yeah, Bait is just a bad roster right now. They don't have any chance. Do you remember when we talked about that? That was like in week 2 or week 3 or something like that.
Yeah, there were 2 interviews. In one, someone said that Bait have a bad roster, and in the other one, someone said everyone is underestimating Bait. They're not that bad.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, either one.
Yeah, so who do we trust? I think there's both of the arguments to
Lasso,
be made,
potential first blood attempt here as well. Storm Spirit's got more mana than Dendi does, and they're going to turn their attention towards Laguna. Also got the dual breath to do some damage onto the Batrider, but force him away. So that's our first big attempt on an actual kill. If Pion escaping from the Jakiro in the top lane was another. Still no first blood. What's up with these games? We had the same issue on on Friday when we were casting with Wingblade. We had our first blood at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And we're like, what is this? I feel like we're following the same repeated pattern here. Not getting too many kills, don't see... I mean, you look at these drafts and you're like, there's definitely some kill potential in any of these lanes, but no actual fight is actually breaking loose anywhere.
I think this is the problem when players don't want to make a mistake. If you don't go into a situation where you can make a mistake, you're not really going to be able to make a play either. And I just don't think this is the way that Eastern Europeans play Dota, right? And we have seen so many things happen this way from the start. You saw minute 7 was kind of our time where we would start expecting the first blood, because that's when the first rotations naturally do happen. And this is not something that should happen. As I say, you go in, even if you make a mistake, you will force out the region. So when you come back to the lane, you actually have more kill potential, a chance to push the opponent out of the lane. But what these teams are doing, and it has been a staple for most of the teams in the Division 2 of Eastern Europe, that they just play it safe. I think if Bait continue playing this one safe, though, they'll be in a tough spot for all of the reasons that we mentioned at the start of the draft. And look at Larl, he's now like, okay, these guys are not doing anything.
Good attempt, at least harassing, getting some damage on the Storm Spirit. There is a Sand King coming in as well, and as soon as Storm catches a glimpse of that SK, he's instantly out of there. Meanwhile, Bait also trying to make a move here into bottom, setting up for this OD. Violent doesn't have the distance to close in, and also OD knows not to play too aggressively here. Force Majeure moving inside the jungle. He's got some wards placed down. They've got some deep vision. As soon as they see the Kunkka rotate to the jungle, if they see anybody located in that bot lane, might be a potential kill opportunity for them. But still, no kill as we're 8 minutes in, and almost a triple net worth lead. And this is actually something that really strikes my eye. A Kunkka +1 or +2 in every single game so far we've been casting has had a 1 to 2k net worth lead towards any other hero. He's third right now. He's behind OD. He's behind Wraith King. So this Kunkka has not got that farm start.
Yeah, this is the problem when you're playing a Kunkka into a hero that has 1 billion armor for some reasons. You know, when you look at the OD, he doesn't really look like he's armored up that much, but 7 armor at the start. He starts off with the crown. Instantly he has 8 of it, and the Kunkka doesn't really do anything to him. If you can't harass out your enemy, then you're the one actually eating the harass. And Kunkka, he gets decent amount of farm. It's just that kind of a hero, but the OD will definitely get more, especially in the side lanes right now, and he had good help coming out from the clocker. And when we're talking about rotations, when we're talking about first kills, I think the first one that we're gonna be seeing is definitely gonna be on the bottom lane, because Winstrike, they want to play around noticed. Yeah, and they want to play around notice that Meteor Hammer, and of course Bait, before the Blink Dagger comes out, they're not going to be moving that much and going for the Raid King. I don't think it's
Bendy's wrapping
is the
around.
smartest move.
Do we get our first blood before the 10-minute marker? Odie's going to be pulled all the way under the tower. Notice going to be very alone here, even uses his prison offensively, and that will do it. 9 minutes and 55 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. That's how long it took for us to get our first blood, but we do get first blood. So now, let the festivities begin.
Yeah, and it's just before the daytime comes, so we get that holy sound, like, oh, finally there's a kill in this game. And Winstrike, it's weird to me that they weren't rotating towards their OD. He's definitely was the strongest hero on the map. It doesn't matter that he's not topping the network chart. He's the one that actually gives the most threat, and they didn't rotate, not even the supports towards him. I guess they're fine with this one, and finally they'll rotate, but
level 5,
Bait
level
this
4.
time around? Okay.
Very low on levels, so there's no ultis available. Level 1 Ice Path. At least Ice Path is going to be something to close in the gaps. But, yeah, Odie dies. Doesn't really care about it too much. He TPs straight back to the bot lane. 4 heroes now from Winstrike are around. 5 heroes from Winstrike in this bot lane. So I'll take my words back. It is everybody here right now. Pion is here for tower defense. Rocket Flare is in there as well. And here we go. There's the Ice Path to throw the preliminary stun. We've got Storm Story coming in with the Vortex, and that's a dead hero. Dendy coming in as well. He's going to get prisoned up. Notice, doesn't have his Meteor Hammer ready, but he doesn't need it. Hookshot's going to miss as well from Force Majeure, but it doesn't matter because Dendy's going to be dead too. And that's going to be 2 quick kills from Winstrike. Gatsy trying to go for the TP out, and looks like he might actually just get it. But that's also a tower gone. And a pretty hefty price. Bait, well, they weren't suspecting probably 5 heroes to be in this bot lane, but they lose a lot for it.
And this is the thing with Bait. They try to slow down the game, and when you look at their heroes, they need chaos. They need so much chaos. Them trying to defend that tower when Winstrike has just such good dive potential, it is not the best move. And that was actually close to Pion's Blink Dagger. So given how you slow down the game, I thought they were gonna do it a bit more, but just wanted to set up for the bottom lane again. And I guess Winstrike allowing that OD to die. That was a bit of a bait that Bait kind of got caught in, you know, oh, we killed him once, maybe they'll leave him alone again.
Yep. Well, that's going to be another one for Bait. 2 ultis used for this one. Mortimer's Kisses nicely connecting on top of the X mark. That's a combo that should always work, at least for some early damage. In this case, it's enough for an entire kill. Konka's got a nice burst. He would love to get these early kills too. You want to get this hero online. But feels like right now, this Konka's a bit underwhelming. I don't think the lane was still too hard from him. Like, seeing Violent not getting that much farm was a bit of a worrying sake. Like, even if you're still not trading against an OD with 7 armor, he still lacks the... Like, Violent lacks the farm that every other Konka has been doing so far. So probably not being able to rotate towards the jungle. We had the Winstrike with those deep wards as well. So I think it really comes down to mentality. And was he feeling maybe a bit afraid as well, because he wasn't maximizing, or at least pushing his farm. Right now they are 5-man smoking though. Dandy already used his Firefly, so that will not be available. He also moves towards the mid lane with it. Violent sees a creep wave walking in, but the rest of them want to go and fight. And they've spotted themselves another Soneko. Quick burrow strike from Pion. Cookie stun. Hookshot connects also onto the Bane, and Bane's going to be an easy picking here at the back. So make that 1 for 1, but now Bait's in trouble. There's too many Winstrike heroes around. Here finally arrives the Kunkka, but Kunkka doesn't get to do anything in this. So that is again a heavy price that Bait has to pay for this rotation next to the tower. They got the Jakiro, but they lost everybody with that smoke. So Bait not looking good here.
Yeah, definitely. We even talked about those first 20 minutes where they tend to look pretty solid. But it usually comes down to Dandy having heroes that have some burst potential. With the Batrider, he's focusing mostly on farm. And even if he was there, it is not a hero that deletes a hero immediately. Whereas Winstrike, you kind of look at their heroes and you don't see that much burst, but then you remember that the Raid King against these low armor heroes is actually a lot of burst potential, and the OD can actually do a ton of damage as well with the Sandity's Eclipse. So I'm really scared for Bait right now because they need to jump in, kill a hero, go out, and they need to do it multiple times for them to actually be able to take objectives. And then once Winstrike makes a mistake, they go too deep. Then they can kind of ignite all of them and finish off those bonus heroes. That is what they wanted to happen, but they didn't manage to do it a single time. And now even with the mid lane tower falling, that's gonna be Winstrike now actually being able to hunt with the Storm and with the Clockwork as well.
Also a Blink Dagger now up on the SK, but Winstrike smoked up on the low ground. They found the Storm Spirit. They're going to go for it. Epicenter used. V-Script should be there too. They're going to get the Storm kill, but can they get out in time is going to be the big question. Storm is dead. Ice Path will hit onto the Bane, but they already did their damage. They dealt what they needed to. Nightmare, TP out. Nope. Not going to happen. Not going to happen this time. Nightmare doesn't go all the way through. Gets quickly cancelled there by the Jakiro, so the OD is able to get the prison out, cancel the teleport, get the kill. But you got the Storm, so if there's something positive you can find out, that's a big kill.
That's a pretty big one for sure. Beyond, okay, he gets out, and I like this. So what Bait need to do is these weird plays. That's how you win the game. I think that Winstrike, they need to be playing more together. They are probably underestimating just how powerful they actually are at this point. They could definitely kill some heroes, especially with the Raid King. He's going for a Deso. I kind of expected maybe the Hawk to go for a Blink, but that's gonna be after the Deso for sure. So maybe that's something that they're waiting for. But overall, Winstrike, if they're together, Bait will be lacking damage, especially without the Epicenter. And I like that Bait didn't really get phased about the lost fight on the top lane and still went for a play. I'd actually just like them. This is what teams don't do. I would like them to go and make a play when they don't have ultis, just to force TPs to get an idea of where Winstrike are and how they're gonna be moving around the map in the next few minutes, because for now they have no idea, and that's why they're giving away such a big chunk of their map when they don't have the ultis.
Right. And also with the good thing for Bait here is now Kunkka's where he's supposed to be, on top of the net worth 8,500. And he has really been ramping up that far in 153 last hits. So what he maybe missed in the early minutes, he's now finally recovering. But SK, well, he's not in recovery mode at all. Has been killed once again in top lane, a bit too deep into the lane. And also now he probably has some idea about some lane wards. Or that Winstrike was aware that there's somebody in the top lane. That's a very old Ops ward that's about to expire too. And they go straight for Roshan because they have a fresh Desolator on this Wraith King. Sand King being dead. That's going to be some crucial 10 seconds missing from them. But looks like Bait still might actually challenge this. They have an idea. They have a thought about it. Laguna needs to go for Mortimer's Kisses ASAP. Otherwise it's too late. Hawk is buying time. Yeah, it's already gone. It's gone.
And this is one of those situations where you give the Storm Spirit the Aegis and they immediately go for a smoke Winstrike. They want to fight because now Bait, they have their spells, but we have an Aegis. So we want to bait out those spells as much as possible. Dandy doesn't have his BKB just yet. Overall, I was about to say not the worst death for the Sand King, but when the Roche goes down, it is a problem.
Oh, that's a dead Bane. It's gonna be one of those quick kills again. Talked about that low armor. Well, Wraith King doesn't give a damn because he's got a Desolator and he's gonna remove even more than what you already have. This guy hits hard. He crits for 700 right now at level 14, 18 minutes in. That's a lot of damage that you have to face up against. So with this quick Bane kill, opens up the spot lane. Looks like Winstrike's gonna go for tier 2 push. Maybe get some offensive wards down Bait. Mirror movements towards the top lane.
Yeah, smart move from Winstrike. When you do this, there is no other option from Bait but to do the exact same thing. And their pushing power is nowhere near the same amount. And once they get to the tower, if the Raid King is the only one showing in the bottom lane, you kind of have to go back because you could be hunted. So Bait right now, they have one play to make, or two plays. One is to farm, the other one is to smoke towards the bottom lane, and neither one are good. So they'll go for the let's fight one. Considering they have two BKBs, it's probably
look at Clockwork's positioning. He's cutting out 2 choke points right now. They have the vision as well with the wards on the cliff. Wraith King is there. That's not the target they want to go for, but Violent's going to have to start with something. The Hawk throws his stun backwards. Storm. Oh, Gutsy. He's trying to juke around with a Shadow Amulet, but they can't get the Storm straight. They can't get him. They baited with the Bane. Now he's lost his life. Force Majeure, he still has his hook shot available. There's another Flame Break, pushing the Clockwork down to the low ground. That's going to be a dead block, and that hook shot's not going to go through. Prison also actually used on the clock. He did actually get out. What was that interaction? So he got prisoned while hookshotted, and it actually moved him to his teammates. Nice.
Yeah, the Astral Prison imprisonment works that way. You know, you do get moved. Even if you Astral the guy who has been lassoed, he will still appear.
That's actually really good in there, because they get to keep the Clockwork alive, and that makes them well, they get a kill for that, and they don't lose any.
Still, Bait, they did defend the tower. That's the big thing. You know, usually in these kind of situations, you're let's trade a little bit of HP on our tower and stuff like that. But they do manage to delay the Aegis, to only lose the Bane, and defend the tower still. So very nicely played from Bait, and they'll go for a smoke. Though on the top lane, you're probably not gonna find anyone. That would be a big mistake from Winstrike, who could actually go for a play once again, considering there's no glyph on the enemy side.
There's a lot of areas to track down, and onto the mid lane they go to hit the tier 2 tower. Quick teleport coming in for the Clockwork. Dendy spots it. Flame Break, Burrow Strike is going to be there. This time Force Majeure doesn't escape like the last time he did, but Storm Spirit going to go to jump onto the Kunkka. Kunkka doesn't get a chance to use his BKB, or does he? Nightmare save for a second. He's popped his BKB. Armlet's not being used. He's not toggling it at all, and Violent is dead. He does not get that extra HP out of it. Wraith King also almost about to blow for the first time, but he goes back in. Dahak, he's just defying death right now, and he pops himself to the front. Flinks on top. He removes Sean from the game. And that's a 1 for 2. Kunkka, I think he thought he was dead there like twice already. Gutsy with the Nightmare save, but he was on the safety of the high ground, but he didn't toggle his armlet, so he was sitting at 10 HP the whole time and just got right-clicked from the low ground to death. Now Bendy gets jumped on by Laurel, but was it a bait? All along, because he is being fiend script. His mana pool is gone, and that Storm is about to go down. Aegis has been burnt, and still got some backup on its way. Bane, he's already hiding. He knows that that Storm might jump again, but Laurel not gonna go for it.
That last fight, this is something that I was kind of impressed when I casted some China region, is that the Chinese players, they do slow down the game, but they're still 100% focused. That Kunkka not toggling there, that was an easy toggle. He was not focused because there's nothing happening in the game. You kind of get sleepy. You know that that idea, you're playing a pub and there's not many kills, everyone is farming, then a fight breaks out and you make a big mistake that you otherwise wouldn't, just because you kind of got slow, you know, you're not doing anything. Well, this is why I don't like this happening in the Eastern European region. I guess the Chinese players, they have been used to the playstyle and they know how to make it work. But when it comes down to Europeans, they just need to be on the move at all times. And that was definitely an easy toggle coming out from Violent. If he survives that one, turns it around with a potential boat, maybe Bait get a good fight going for them. This way, it's just disastrous, and they'll even lose the bottom tier 1. At least the mid lane tower falls down, but still, Bait are not really going for catch in this one. And
but that's what shines into me. Like, you add all of this up that I've been talking about Violent throughout this game. I feel like he is, you can see his mental state right now. It's not there. It's missing something. He's either feeling a bit afraid. He wasn't capitalizing with the farm early on, not getting those armlet toggles out. Bane's also going to be going down. He knows he's got so much on his shoulders right now, so I feel like he's being pressured a lot. Meanwhile, Pion found in the trees. Nice hook shot there from Force Majeure. The follow-up stun from the Hawk with the Vortex from the Laurel. That's again another quick kill for them, and it's now a 4,000 gold lead for Winstrike. And they are keeping up this pressure. Roche is also going to be up in a minimum of 2 minutes.
And this is what is the problem in Dota. You don't use your timings, and then you're just going to be punished for it. Winstrike, they're aware that at this point, they're so much stronger than their enemies. They've opened up enough of the map to be able to run at Bait wherever they want. And Bait, they might not even be able to place good vision out in the map. We can see that they have one ward, and it doesn't really give them anything. It was for the defense of the bottom tier 2, and it's gone. So you basically don't have any map control. Why? Because you didn't create that chaos that your team could have been good at in the early stages of the mid game, and now they're gonna be going for these smokes. But I would be happy for them if they just placed vision and got a support kill. That would be an successful smoke for them, and considering they're 7k goal behind, it's not gonna change a damn thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get several victories in a row to pull this lead back together and then start to build your game. Right now, numbers don't matter when your opponent is so far ahead. 25 minutes into this one, we've seen 18 kills in the course of it. Winstrike and Bait are both smoked up. Bait, theirs has actually run out, and they're under a ward. Winstrike is coming in full speed. Gotta be careful for this. Dindy is isolated too. When is Clockwork in hookshot range? He's not too far away. He knows where he is. He's gonna have to dodge that hard cap first. Creep wave is also there. They're still chasing him. Bait doesn't know that Dindy's in trouble. They're actually going to let him go, so as they see that happen, Kunkka, that's an even better target to go for, and Violent is dead. Gutsy's going to follow.
It's just a slaughter right now.
Yeah, you can't catch the bat, but you can catch everybody else. Roche has now hit his minimum timer. 1 minute 22 is going to be the exact timer for the spawn, so Winstrike doesn't get an instant Roche to celebrate with.
And also, one thing that should be pointed out, Dandy getting caught.
Ay, ay, ay. Pops his BKB, tries to turn around. This is the play that you need, but there's no Kunkka, no damage dealer for another 18 seconds. He's going to have to do it all by himself. Pyon doesn't have... He's got his Burrow Strike, he's got his Yules, he's got his Epicenter, but not a fight to use it at all. And just like that, Dendi saving his life, it costs a lot for them. They lose 3 heroes again, both supports, and Dendi himself.
This is a problem. I don't know how many viewers have watched Dendi stream. He hasn't really been winning too much. I watched it a little bit. The name of the stream was how to go from rank 1000 to a rank 100 in the shortest amount of time, and then I watched him just lose game after game and not really do anything. And people tend to be like, okay, MMR, it's not that important. Even he has the famous line that MMR is just a number, but the thing is, it does give you confidence, and that's something that Bait definitely don't have. I thought when they made that move on the Storm, okay, that's showing some confidence, but then they stop. They're playing not to lose, and inevitably they will lose against everyone in this tournament because they're drafting, okay, let's have heroes that can kill people, that have a lot of stuns, that have a lot of magical damage, and then you don't utilize it, which means that you will definitely be losing the game later on. So Bait, they need more confidence, and maybe it does come down to it if they're gonna start winning more pubs. I don't know if you remember TI7 Liquid, or nowadays Nigma. When they won TI, they were pretty much 4 of their players were top 10. That's why they had so much confidence to do whatever they wanted, right? You get an idea and you go for it. You're not afraid of making mistakes because it has just worked out many times for you. Whereas for Bait, at least for Dandy, I watching his stream, not the other ones, he's probably not feeling it.
Yeah, I'm guessing 4 out of those 5, the one player was Kuro, right? He wasn't actually, like, Kuro at some point, he wasn't even the highest MMR player, but they were still winning games because he's got the experience, he's got the leadership, the captainship. So, yeah, obviously one player out of 5 doesn't need to be, like, rank 5 to make, like, the biggest difference if he brings other traits to the table. But, let's not get too stuck on that tangent, but I agree on it. You have this stand-in Storm Spirit 7-1 and 6, rank 38. You could say that he also won mid. He was beating the Batrider since the start. And Kunkka not having a proper game for himself. Like, we haven't seen Violent. He's got 0 kills, 2 assists. Bait's got 5 kills in total with the setup that they have. Like, they have control, they have split push, they have good wave push. Overall, Roche potential in this lineup. Kunkka's also great at going for solo pickoffs. Same thing with the Batrider. But you only got 5 kills.
Yeah, and that's a disaster. You know, you have these Mortimer's Kisses. Stun into Mortimer's Kisses pretty much kills anyone, any hero on the map, no matter how farmed it is. Okay, at this point now, not anymore because the Raid King is too strong, you know, but but at some point you can go for a stun, Mortimer's Kisses, and anyone dies. That's a 2-minute cooldown, which you didn't use that many times considering that you have 5 kills in 30 minutes.
Ward placed down. The Hawk, he smells blood. Not sure if there's much blood to give on this Bane, but at least it can be carved up with a sword. 2 hits. The first one almost takes him down completely. That's the amount of damage this Wraith King has. Assault Cuirass for more minus armor. And Violent also takes a heck of a load of damage. Does he die inside his own X-Mark? Yes, he does. That's how fast the Kunkka falls. He doesn't even get back to base with his own ability that he wanted to use for farming. Prison used. They do have the Wraith King brought up, but he gets his BKB off before the Burrow Strike connects from Pion. So even the opportunity of getting Wraith King the first time doesn't happen, doesn't take place. Glyph being used, 40 seconds for the Kunkka. Kunkka might even have to buy back for this, but let's see what Winstrike wants to do. They're forcing out another ultimate. That is the Mortimer's Kisses. So no lasso, no kisses. Fake back with the smoke. Glarl, he stays in the area. Dendi, he's got no lasso to go in, so he's just going to have to force to play defensive on this bat. And Winstrike, they could do anything they want right now. Look at this. Just look at the confidence. Laurel doesn't matter at all. He's got the Aegis. The Cookie stun connects onto Force Majeure, who is taking a heck of a load of damage right now. This clock might die, but then we have the shard from the OD. So look at this clock slowly waddling his way back for it. And the Epicenter is completely missed and dodged. Another ulti down the drain, and Winstrike, they're smiling. They're happy. They're just backing away right now because they want Bait to hurt. They want them to bleed a little bit longer.
Yeah, you know, you kind of... Their base does look like it had an earthquake in it, considering that they lost quite a lot of structures. But I want to come back to the point. Did you see when they lassoed the Hawk? He used the BKB and he turned around for a second. It was like, what now? What are you going to do now? It was the cockiest move ever. And Bait, they could only look at him as, okay, that's what I thought, and just walks away. So Winstrike, at this point, they're in such firm control that Bait, I think discussing the next game right now, what are we gonna do, what we did wrong here is the best move. Though in these kind of scenarios, I've been in teams that, you know, you're losing game after game, and in these kind of situations, there's usually a lot of silence going on, and I'm hoping that's not what Bait Communications will sound like right now, but I'm pretty sure they are.
Well, again, Burrow Strike does not connect. Notice he's got his BKB up by the time the lasso ends. So Bait, this is the last one. The 5-man smoke. To hope that something works out. And again, there's a Wraith King in the front, but you've got 3 ultis on cooldown. Epi's going to be up in 20 seconds. And another 40 for the Ghost Ship to be up. So Bait, they don't have many defensive tools right now. Winstrike, they've already taken top. They've taken mid. They're heading towards bottom for the last lane of racks and end this game. 24,000 gold ahead.
And I actually thought Bait was gonna go in and fight. You know, as a very famous anime protagonist would say, if you don't fight, you die 100%. You know, so I'm hoping that they will at least go for a fight and Kunkka TP out. But the Hawk is gonna be hurting him quite a lot.
Yeah,
that is just a message to send the guys back at home. Like, this is what's gonna happen to you, and that is your tankiest hero, which didn't really look that tanky just a second ago.
Gonna be pretty tough for Bait to succeed in any team fight right now, but still, Winstrike, they haven't made mistakes so far, so if they made a mistake now, it would still have to be a big chain of errors to happen for Winstrike to have Bait back in this game. Right now, they're living on the edge, they're living on a thread. Probably already discussing and thinking about game 2 at this point, Harry.
Yeah, I think that a pretty sportsmanship thing to do from the side of Winstrike is go and make at least one mistake so that Bait gets some blood going, you know? Like, okay, let's go, guys, we can do it, we can still use our spells, we're still Dota players, a professional team, we can play against these guys. So at least they give them a challenge in game number 2, and I'm hoping that Winstrike can find it in their hearts, because if this is how the game ends, with Bait having 5 kills, I don't know how you mentally recover from that. So Winstrike,
I hope
it's
they
on
do.
you to.
I mean,
to
honestly,
bring them up.
I hope they do, because I want to see Bait win. I still want to see this team win game. I want them to maybe even win series at this point, because 15 of a losing streak is, you know, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So, what kind of a confidence boost would you get for winning one map? Would you just go straight up reverse sweeping into the third one? Who knows? I mean, but that's just my opinion. I just want to see that Bait at least wins a map during DPC and not go out completely without a single win right now. But Larl already found Pion. Bit slow with the silence there. He was waiting for the Lotus Orb effect to run out. Didn't want to silence himself accidentally. That might have been an opening for Bait to just jump on the storm and get a quick kill. Clock's building an X2.
From the way that Winstrike are playing right now, I would say that this win means a lot to them, right? They want to go into the upper division. They dropped the ball in 2 series. They lost 2 of them. They were probably one of the favorites to go all the way, right? But these open qualifier teams just kind of show that they're better at this point. So look at how safely they're playing it. They're 27k goal ahead. They've given 5 kills for the entirety of the game, and they're still not going for the last lane of racks. They're waiting for the Roche, and they know that Bait is gonna have to fight that one, because with the Roche, you win a fight 100%. It's not like it's not close to that percentage even without it, though.
The Hawk. Aggressive blink in with the overwhelming blink. BKB already popped on the Conk. They're going to jump on the Bane right away. Instantly deleted by the Hawk, and here's an opportunity here. Pion is in the middle of it with the lasso connecting onto the OD2. There's the epicenter dealing a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough as Dendy's going to be falling. And also Kunkka on the run. Noticed he is punishing this guy right now. And GG is called by Violent Bait. They tap out. Winstrike will take the first map of the series. We'll see what happens after this one. Are we going to see Bait still coming back into this one? Because Winstrike, this was a very one-sided show from them as they take the first one of the series for themselves.
Yeah, and as you stated, it was pretty one-sided. I think that this doesn't have to do much. Winstrike, they played their lineup well. There's no doubt about it, right? They did pretty much everything they needed to do, but they weren't forced into a situation to actually make a mistake. And I think that's what Bait need to go for. I always repeat it, don't gun for the victory on the side of Bait. Gun to make your opponents uncomfortable. And every single time that someone is playing against Bait, in the mid game, they feel comfortable as hell because they're allowed to do whatever they want. So just try to make them uncomfortable, and that's maybe the way to force out the victory, because this way for you just farming and waiting for an opportunity, that opportunity will never come.
Want to take a look at the numbers for damage dealt as well. Kunkka only able to score 6.5k in this game. I would like to see Violent play another Kunkka game. Honestly, I really want to see him like pull off this amazing Kunkka, because we've seen a lot of great Kunkka plays in Division 2. Where we have like unkilled Kunkkas, the ones that go like 16-0, 24, and you know, like stuff like that, where they're just dominating the entire map since the start. If he can just get a bit of a punch to his net worth at the start, rotate around those jungle camps, have an active support as well. Maybe not go for the Bane on Gutsy. I know Gutsy's good with Bane. It's one of his most played support heroes, but maybe another aggressive support to go with Kunkka so that you have like a hero who's able to trade, or a basic tower defender, something like, you know, Treant Protector, Keeper of the Light, you know, heroes like this. And still go for the Kunkka in the draft. I would like to see it happen here. And we'll just see if Dende decides to go back for the Queen of Pain, which he has played 5 times so far in DPC so far. So, you know, go back to comforts. And to that, what we have seen from Bait in the past few weeks and the past few series that they have played, where they are aggressive early game. They're a powerhouse. They deal damage. They take kills, and then you have the structure for your game.
Yeah, I think that Bait, if they would, these players in a pub, all of them play better. I think this is just them being afraid to do a lot of things as a team, just coming out from them just not having success lately. And I think they have more to give than what they're showing. I do think they're the worst team in the Division 2. They've showed it multiple times, but I think they still have a bit more to give, and I'm hoping for it in game number 2 in this series. And I've been hoping for it for a very long time, and I guess hope dies last, and I'm gonna be rooting for them to get that one game at least until this DPC ends.
And the same for all the bait fans out there as well, because they want that victory, and I'm sure there's a lot of bait fans right now. They're disappointed. They want that win. They want the success, but they need to start from one map victory. It has to be the next one, otherwise the series is going to be over, and Winstrike taking it at 2-0. We'll be back after the break with our second game of the series.